Hey everybody, Asher here, back with more Hearthstone, where today we're doing a little bit of theory crafting with the C'Thun ramp deck. This is a similar, but not exactly the same list as I run previously in some other videos and some other live streams. The key component is C'Thun, sure, but what I'm trying to do here is to work in a few more cards that work with Fandral Staghelm. And to that end, you can see that I've made some cuts early on. I've kept Living Roots, although that is a card that I'm wondering if I should cut it for something else. And right now, this is still in the Ramp Druid shell, which means I'm running Innervate and Wild Growth. But if I wanted to turn this a little bit more into a mid-range deck, I'd probably cut the Wild Growth and try and get some other card draw in here or something too. Because this is a deck that does rely on C'Thun minions. You'll see that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. Not Mire Keeper. But Dark Arakara is probably one of the best, and because I have so many here, I may not even need that many. Beckoner of Evil is probably a card that I can cut to, but I'm keeping it in here for now. But the idea is that I also kind of want to get the best of both worlds. So with Staghelm, we run Druid of the Claw, we run Wrath. We don't have too many other options other than Mire Keeper, which to be honest is a very, very, very strong card. If only because it serves the same purpose as Darnassus' Spirit to a point, so 4 for 3/3 is a body, but it's not a great body. But on the other hand, we can also go into the new universe of, you also get a mana crystal, which is worth 2. So that's where the cost comes from. I do run Ragnaros right now. I've debated, and I have the dust for it, I've debated crafting scenarios if I'm going to be running Staghelm anyway. But we'll see how that goes. Like I said, this deck plays a lot like a Ramp Druid from before, so you're going to try and keep your mana crystal growth as much as possible. Nourish and Wrath are your only card draws, though, so you have to use those very carefully. Let's go and see how this deck does against the current shifting metagame.
Your soul shall be mine! I must protect the wild.
Alright, now this is not the best opener hand here, so we're going to ditch all of these. Although, remember, Claxi Amber Weaver is a card that you can always just drop as a... Okay, this is even worse. Alright, it's always one that you can drop as a Yeti. But the goal here is to try and get low drops, and this deck doesn't have a ton of low drops. But that's exactly why we ramp. And how Ramp Druid worked before, in the old days when it was very prevalent, was that if you missed your ramp, you pretty much lost. So at least here we top deck the Wild Growth. That's amazing. But we're going to need something else to maybe play an Arakara early. And Arakoa, I'm going to mispronounce that every time. So Councilman probably. Yeah, it's funny. I just recorded a zoo video. We're going to see somebody slap me around with a zoo. Because that's how that's going to go. We get C'Thun's Chosen, which is alright. Question becomes, does he have the tentacles to make this far scarier? Maybe worth hero powering. I'm going to hold on to Bran just because I'd rather not drop him right now. But one of the nice things about Staghelm is that he does represent a threat that needs to be dealt with. So he'll draw removal that a 4-drop otherwise might not.
So many possibilities.
Alright, so you can kill that with the Councilman right now. There's Imp Gang Boss. Card that I was missing. Swipe would be lovely here, but we won't get it. I think it is a very passive play, but I don't want this to grow super big. We are just at a clunky hand situation right now. I think it's more important that I play this slow. I could play Tempo Bran, but that probably means Bran dies. And if you're playing a Tempo Bran, you're having problems. On the other hand, if he sticks, we'll get a much bigger taunt. So this could draw some removal. That'd be lovely. Now the choose ones do not count as a battle cry, so they do not get upgraded by Bran, for those of you who might not have known that. But there's a lot of ways that a zoo deck can potentially kill Bran, or he can run his own Bran, which is awful for me. So he's going to be able to stick that, and I'm going to be a little stuck. So this is where I play Druid of the Claw. Usually, other people are like, well, just taunt up, taunt up, taunt up. But sometimes you have threats that you've just got to deal with here. I'm actually going to summon 2 saplings. That may have been a mistake, because that means the abusive sergeant can just straight up tradesies. So Voidwalker. Mistakes were made all around, let's put it that way. Wow, actually holding on to this. Right, swipe would be even better right now. Really not sure why he wanted to trade in the other card there, but let's go ahead. This is not mana efficient at all. But our C'Thun's at 10 now, so that counts for the Amber Weaver, and we can't Amber Weaver Nourish right now. This is a terrible deck to play Ragnaros against. So that could be a meta switch where I do go for Cenarius after all. Once again, swipe would be amazing here. Oh god. Alright, swipe would be really good here. Dr. Seven Twins would be good here. Alright. Swipe is not as good now. Alright, so he's currently spent, and there's a top deck.
Spectacular feast of souls begin.
Now this only slows him down a little bit. And I've been floating 1 mana here there for a while, so he's used 1 power overwhelming, and he didn't, and that's from his hand. So is he gonna have to spend most of his board for this? Is what I want to know. I'm not gonna be able to take that out straight away. So I think the play here in this case is to nourish unless I get a swipe here. Okay, I could potentially taunt up, because this represents some damage. If I can nourish into a swipe, which is not outside of the realm of possibility, the other alternative is just to play Druid of the Claw, which is not bad too, but let's draw 3 cards. Let's see if we're lucky today. Innervate is not great. C'Thun is good. So it looks like we're going to be a little mana inefficient today, and we'll taunt up anyway. That's alright. Was hoping for the nuts of the swipe there, but we won't get it. But we do have a 11/11 C'Thun, which is good enough. I'm still not running the Revive C'Thun card. I'm finding a lot of games that I play with this deck specifically go too fast.
Get in there and fight.
So the question becomes, is C'Thun the better play here, or should I wait on it just a little bit? So I did save myself some significant damage. Alright. What do we want to do? We could just take out this taunt. Unfortunately, no uprooting today.
For the wild.
So we'll drop down to 14 health. And we have C'Thun in hand. It's not the biggest C'Thun in the world, but it is a C'Thun just the same. Question now is, can he break through a 5/10? We've gotten a lot of our taunts, although we haven't gotten all of our taunts. We haven't gotten Mire Keeper, which is a decent pick versus Zoo. Alright, can he bust this? Alright. Alright, this seems like a time where we play C'Thun. Just to get rid of all the tentacles here. I'm on. Oh, so close. So close. But we're still to a point right now where I could potentially rag. I've used both Druids of the Claw. If we can get any of our C'Thun buffers out, so there's all the tentacles.
My greeting.
And there's the swipe we needed. We lived versus Zoo! How'd that happen? Still a good game by Sailfish. I just happened to get the draws when I needed them.
Watch your back.
I must protect the wild.
Alright, now this is one of the matchups that does make me consider whether I should be running a card that's a little bit bigger and possibly Revive C'Thun, because this is very likely a Death Rattle Rogue. And as we've seen on this channel before, Death Rattle Rogue is very difficult to deal with
Pleasure is mine.
if you can't take him out early, and C'Thun decks do not specialize in taking things out early. However, we are going to play Living Roots. 1 mana for 2/1/1s is still a very strong play, even in the current metagame. Although this does mean that the Well, this leaves the rogue with some choices. Either play something that's 2 mana, or spend some mana and use a weapon charge to kind of whack-a-mole these down. Now, it is possible that I could use a... Oh god, we're at the Tempo brand game again. So we missed our ramp so far, which sucks. I'd hate to coin into Nourish to draw 3 cards. I'd rather coin into Druid of the Claw, which we saw last game, the value of just being able to charge your bears.
Funnel cake.
Still love that tagline. Alright, so there's a second swipe. We are not going to play Bran right now.
For the wilds.
Just hit face. No reason to get a class card from your hand, because pretty much all of our class cards are good cards. This would probably... Okay, so Zero the Poison Mind. So I guess the question becomes, am I about to get sapped? We'll give it a try. Maybe not. This legendary gives a lot of valuable options. It really does. But this is not a very swipeable board right now. Wow. Okay, got a little bit of lag from the looks of it. Alright, Deadly Poison. So, do we have anything else that's actually going to make you eat it? Okay, a little bit of card draw. So definitely, if there's ever any doubt, it's Death Rattle Rogue. And we're not in a horrible spot. So I think I'm going to Nourish for draw. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that'll put us up to 9 cards. I mean, since we completely missed our ramp. Oh, look! Fandral! Finally. I'll be honest with you, for all the testing I've done with this deck, this is the first time I've ever actually drawn this card. So we can see how valuable it can be. Maybe. Turn 6 is a Darky turn. Dark Arakoa. I'm not going to be able to pronounce that ever, which maybe means I should play this. Oh, good.
Hey, you want to buy a funnel cake?
Alright. Or is this a swipe turn? Could be Swipe Wrath. It's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, we can still hide things behind a taunt. Next turn, I'm just thinking of innervating Fandral and then Bear Druid. That's probably stronger than just the Arakoa, because this deals with the board. We need to start dealing with it at some point. Right, so that's all gone. How many cards do we have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're not going to get overdrawn. He has nothing to recycle. I don't even run that. But how many cards do you have? 10. 10 exactly. So no overdraw there. But he does have a lot of toys to play with. That's part of the fun of all those death rattles. Question is, can I survive? But fortunately, it was an Undercity Huckster and not Zeril that got Poison Mind. That's for sure. So we've got options. We have not even buffed our C'Thun yet. So for all my opponent knows, this is just regular old Druid. Oh, that's annoying. Okay, I guess the question becomes, since he played that, we could save the Innervate and possibly do that with the Ancient of War. What's the alternative? I think Branning Arakoa is pretty strong too. So let's do that.
Who knows what secrets will uncover?
Alright.
One.
So that's going to both buff our C'Thun and give us a decent board presence. Give him a target he's going to have to take out at some point. Clear 2 cards from our hand, which is all very important. Means we have to save this power play a little bit, but we got plays for turn 8 as well. Could be Swipe C'Thun's Chosen, could be another Dark Arakoa, depending.
I wonder.
We don't have too much of other battle cry minions though, and I guess one of the fears of running something like Fandral is that do you hold them too long to get the value out of the effect? But I guess it's the same way with Bran to an extent. But we actually got our card draw early, so that's pretty good. And we do have one Wrath left. Wrath plus Fandral is very exciting. Alright, so Divix is telling me there's new updates. Fun. Wow.
Choose soon.
Alright, Bran's dead. Sorry, Bran. It's probably justifiable to swipe here. There's not too many swipe targets. He has 3 mana to play with them. I'm a little surprised if he doesn't do something else with it. Okay. Wow. No Death Rattle to copy. Let's see. We want to be proactive on this board. So let's do it like this. So we're in pretty decent shape right now. Once again, we're going to have a decent taunt next turn. And if we can get it out. So there's Skulker. Wow. Well, it's a good power play to get out of the way now, that's for sure. That's the fear of all these, is that I don't know all the cards that he actually got here. So Van Cleef, we're going to have some problems dealing with. So Mire Keeper's good. Taunt's good. But let's do this play. Staghelm.
Well played.
Where shall I strike?
Alright. Okay, have Crazy Cat all of a sudden. He's going to have to deal with that. He does have Van Cleef to deal with it, but that'll slow down the game immensely. If for some reason he leaves it up, I can punish, but I doubt that's going to happen. Hi, Miss Kitty. Someone's realized that people are awake. Oh, it's brutal. It's absolutely brutal.
This guy's toast.
So now I'm in trouble, and I'm not just in trouble, I'm getting catted too. So that's a double issue. We're going to need some of our good stuff to come in. Just a second. What else did you get? Blood Thistle Toxin. Wow. That's exciting. You know what? We can actually say wow now. Alright. I just got screwed hard. Alright. What can we do for 10? In this situation, not a lot. Oh god. What do you want, Miss Kitty? What do you actually want? Okay, we'll do the slime here. So the thing is that with all those card draws in the mid game, Death Rattle Rogue was definitely ahead here. We need to find our C'Thun at some point, but I think I've run into this problem with C'Thun decks previously, is that we are going to have a really rough time, especially if he's playing Blade Flurry here. Sad. That's just game then. Alright. Can't be too mad about that. He just had really good plays, and because I missed my ramp entirely at the beginning, I wasn't able to get ahead. So that's the risk you run with Ramp Druid. If you miss your ramp, you're stuck. But we did get to see Fandral, so that's a positive.
I will fight with honor. I must protect the wild.
Alright, let's see if we can get our ramp here. Once again, I have to ask myself, is Living Roots worth keeping if I'm just trying to do the ramp plan here? So we do have all the little tiny tokens, so if this is an aggro paladin of some kind, we do have some answers here. And yes, I do count drawing 3 cards for Nourish as missing ramp, because by that point, 5 mana, you want to be at 7 or more. So we are at aggro paladin land, and we have Rogue Hero power. Well, good news at least is that I can kill this guy. I think that's going to be worth it, even if that means my board's going to be a little clear and I'm floating 1 mana. Because we know he's going to have some bad stuff. But once again, it's like if you miss your ramp, and this is one of those matchups where you really do want it. Alright, so creating a weapon must have gotten some very good options there. We're going to save that. Going to be much better options. Same with Staghelm. There's going to be much better options for playing it later. Yeah, Staghelm's one of those cards that would be ridiculous if Keeper of the Grove was lived in the old state. Oh, Jesus. Missing our ramp never hurt so badly, but never felt so better with Swipe. That's a top deck.
Thank you.
Because now he's like, oh good, I can just flood the board with whatever now. Want to play around that first swipe, but I seriously didn't have other plays. So what do we got here? Nothing. Okay, might as well just tip our hand at this point. And like I said before, I don't really have problems getting C'Thun to 10-10. And that's all you really need for a lot of these effects. Oh, Avenging Wrath this early. Well, that at least means that I should either be really scared because he's running Avenging Wrath this early, or I shouldn't be that worried. My gut tells me this is a Reno Paladin for some reason, just because he's running both Worgens.
Nothing scares me.
Alright.
Except mice.
I smell blood.
Anything else? Ooh, quality. That's not awesome for me, but that is good for him taking face damage. Alright, what else do we want here? It's gonna be a nice turn. So C'Thun's now at 13. We do have a Divine Shield Worgen Infiltrator, but that could be much worse. He'll have to reveal it. Do something about it. And I find that these Amber Weavers are really good for board control. Like, really, really good. And Blessing of Might. He's been holding on to that for a long time, so it's a very good thing that I killed him earlier. So, second Avenging Wrath. Okay. Goes for the face. Well, I'm not going to give him that much more face damage, that's for sure.
The ancient one called you have already lost.
Let's see, what other burst does he have at this point? I guess I can probably afford to go down this far. Because this gives me a taunt that unless he's playing the Black Knight, which I doubt, 10 damage could be easy to come by, could be hard to come by. It just depends on if he can swarm the board. So, didn't actually good that I played that because it didn't give him a super strong Divine Favor. So that was very fortunate that I didn't nourish that turn. Alright. Oh, double Divine Favor. Well, I guess that could have gone way better for him and he didn't realize it. Alright, let's see what we can get. Now that we know this is a safe play. Okay, that's pretty good. So one more card draw. Rag is good. The question is this guy spent? So Rag is good. Brand plus C'Thun's Chosen is kind of a win more. Probably Staghelm Bear. So True Silver Champion. Yeah, he's spent.
Don't worry, loves. The cavalry's here.
Can he actually kill this, though? Maybe?
Not on my watch.
Alright, we'll just go. We'll play this one nice and slow. Or we'll just play C'Thun. I mean, everything else is sexy and fun, but this wins the game. This is exactly why we play C'Thun. I mean, I had a lot of... It's like... It's fun, the matchups that you get even around the lower ranks here, because the decks are always so different, so normal strategies don't always work. Let's talk about the deck one more time. So I'll start by saying that I think C'Thun Druid is going to be a viable deck, but as I've been playing more with it and against it, I think the strongest C'Thun decks that I've found are not the ones that try and pump your C'Thun up to super, super high levels. It's the one they're able to get to around turn 10 and do something. That's where Claxi Amberweaver was really good in this matchup, the same way other class cards, especially Priest and Warrior, where you get up to 10 attack, you get some really significant bonuses. Like, this is a Super Yeti. You saw that I was able to take some damage that I otherwise would have had to take to the face. So, Fandral, I don't know if he's going to be super strong in here, but as I said before, the reason I run Fandral and some of these things like Druid of the Claw are the same reason that I run one Ancient of War, and I don't run any of, and let me just go ahead and pull up the card because that will better illustrate this. Better that I don't run any Doom Callers, is that this Ramp Druid I find, even though it doesn't run combo, games tend to end before the second Doom Caller becomes relevant. Now, let's say that Control Warrior comes into the fore and the meta game starts to slow down a bit, then we can start talking about Doom Callers. But at least for the time being, my initial assessment of the card is that it's trash. Other people do disagree with me, and I respectfully understand that. But at least for the deck that I've built right here, right now, it doesn't seem to fit, not with the way the games are playing. Games are either won or lost by the time C'Thun comes down. Not every deck can say that, but because we have in Druid one of the strongest C'Thun class cards, and we have way more taunts than other classes, you either have board or they've busted through you ahead of time. There's not a lot in between. But that's it for now. This is Asher. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments. Tell me if you think the deck could use any tweaks or cuts, but right now this is the big question mark for me. Is Staghelm going to be something that sticks with this Druid, or is he going to be more of a mid-range non-C'Thun style? Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.